Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good Friday morning. Today is Friday, February 24th, 8:30 a.m. We have PCE coming in right now. We see that the market is tanking. All right, so let's look at what the numbers are. So for PCE, um, our expected or forecasted percent is 0.4% month over month, and year over year we have 4.3%, with the actual coming in at 5.4% on January year over year, and 0.6% coming in at month over month. So we did beat the forecast by 0.2%, so that's good. We are dropping. Does look like buyers may buy down here. We also have personal spending and real personal consumption, manufacturing sales, wholesales. This is for Canadian, but the real personal consumption is for the U.S. Also coming in right now. We have today we have new home sales as well at 10 o'clock. We have a couple of Fed members, FOMC members speaking today at around 10:15. We got Jefferson speaking and Mester speaking. So we have to watch out for that. That's probably going to be the main news for today. We had home sales at around 10 a.m. We also have some state inflation numbers, Michigan. So that's not really going to affect us too much. Other than that, we should be good for today relating to news. Now, as far as next week, I don't see too much that may affect us today in terms of volatility. So we'll trade today wisely. Of course, it is 0 DTE, so we have to be aware of that. All right, let's begin. If you guys can hear me correctly, let me know in the chat. Let me know if there's any questions you guys have, and we'll begin. All right, so we have our ES chart. Looks like we're dropping fairly well pre-market. We're down around a few percentages, 1.5% on this drop, 1.2%. Looks like we are falling pre-market. PCE news, including a sell-off in the morning. So for the levels I have below are 3964. I'm gonna watch to see if buyers are interested in this whole zone right around here. We're gonna see if buyers are going to try and push us up towards that 4034 again. Seems to be a big sell spot here. Saw lots of sellers bringing us down, including up here 4023, specifically 4029 seems to catch my interest. So we'll see how it does. 4034 was a rejection here, and some levels down there. Overall, we do see a lower low and then another lower low, ultimately giving us this trend that we are slowly hitting those lows. Now, what could happen again? We could have our buyers down here pushing us up, either hitting us towards a volatile section, which is right here, considered very choppy, or we probably see some rejections up here, or we could break higher highs. But as far as us breaking support, we have to keep in mind that SPX is SPX or SPY in specific is very close to that. Yeah, this pre-market, we actually bounced off it yesterday. This support here, and it looks like we're breaking pre-market, but I think we're gonna have to break. No, we did already break yesterday's low. We'll see how it does. If we break below it, I would be bearish, but I also want to be aware of all the other stocks doing the same thing. Which SPX is already below it, but ES isn't really yet. So I want to see if ES will break this and then go below. We'll see how it goes. But yes, this 3964 is a balance level for me. It looks like we are dropping still pre-market. As far as anything else goes, I don't see much. Um, maybe these three. Yeah, I'm not gonna count these as solid levels just yet. Alright, so that is my ES analysis. Our forecast for today. We'll probably be looking for some volatility down here, seeing if buyers are interested. If so, then they'll bounce down here. If not, we may see a continuation down. As far as reject levels, we have this whole range where sellers are active. So if we do approach back here, of course, us approaching back here means we need buyers. Therefore, it is a possibility that we will reject up here. We just need that momentum loss as well. All right, there we go. We're gonna go on to SPX. SPX, we're looking at uh, yesterday we had our rejects at around 4029. We have these gaps up here. I want to watch to be filled soon. Looks like we're gonna have a major gap down, probably to around 43974 to 43962. Where 43962 is my bounce price. We also have a possible level down here, yeah. So we got this here. I want to mark, gonna mark black. We got this level down here. We're seeing a rejection at this price. We're seeing a bounce here. We're seeing another bounce here. That could lead to another. If we do continue gap down, break lower lows, we do fall. We break this 3962, and we bounce here. We could bounce up there. So yeah, I'll watch that level. As far as anything else, I see this whole zone right here. I believe buyers are very strong here. So I will definitely be watching out for buyers at that price. Around 3906 to around 3983. Alright, as far as anything else goes, potential reject spots. Again, we're going to go for Hive Day around 4027 to this whole range of 4015. So we'll leave that there and we'll see how we open up today. Alright, let's move on to let's go on to Costco. So it looks like Costco broke the retracement. We bounced off it the other day, but we hit lower lows yesterday. Lots of weak sellers or lots of strong selling. As far as what could happen next, so far I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Let it run on its own. I'm not gonna really be taking anything on Costco just yet. Want it to get up down over here. This whole spot to me is a strong buy price. Up here could be a buy price. We could see some volatility here for Costco right around here. We could see, yeah, we definitely could see some volatility up here. We have the buy price here, so if we do bounce, it could be there. We have our rejects here, so we can turn. So first off, supply here. We break, use this as a breaker block. Now we have our rebound here, so the same thing could happen, or we could reject and then eventually use that as a resistance in the future. Definitely, this is not a bad spot to watch out for. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that spot on watch. Um, Specifically, this price here. I'd like to see bounces, and then we'll wait for it. We'll be patient, and then if anything happens, we'll take it there. And yeah, that's about it for there. We're going to an Nvidia. Nvidia sold off barely yesterday. It looks like people are still bag holding from this big earning run. Not enough of a sell off to pique my interest. It looks like, I mean, this whole spot 2364, we mentioned yesterday of it being a possible reject spot, or at least a spot where sellers are active. If we're looking at, let's look closer. So 236, we got a bounce here, daily bounce, 2 daily bounces there. Anything too big? It looks like potential main rejects seem to be around this whole range though. Yeah, this whole range has sellers for sure. We could definitely experience sellers here today on that price. The point what I'm looking for is just lower lows before yesterday's low, and we could definitely start approaching that gap, 230 fill, which is this whole 230 spot is a gap for Nvidia. We already filled it in the past, but I want to see a retest. All right, so we'll go on to Tesla. I'm gonna reset this chart. Gonna give us a clean new slate to work off of. We're looking at a potential reject there. Gonna double check something. All right, and then we have our possible. That's a bad line. We have a possible bounce level there. Let's see if we can get some more information. Nothing too big there. All right. Um, Basically, what I'm looking for on Tesla, we do see that in the past few days, this whole market with a box. All right, this whole spot essentially has been filled with buyers. And we go back, we move back here. It's just been an area where we've seen, first off, us approaching this bull trend. We've had a nice rally, right? We come up here, we start to see some rejection at this price, and then eventually we squeeze. We have a little bit of an ascending triangle. We push up, and then sellers take their profits. We enter back. We start experiencing a buy spot in this price, some rejection towards sellers clashing buyers, and then we got buyers stepping in a lot stronger. We're able to hit a higher high. Then we come here. We see that they're taking this profit that they took on the rally, sold off, mass selling, and we weren't able to really achieve a higher high. Therefore, now we're starting to sell off. We're hitting lower lows. So relatively, just from looking at this, buyers are interested at this spot, yes, but we're also testing it multiple times on the week, which means we could hit a lower low, or since we did have a massive sell-off yesterday, we did buy back in the on post hours, or last hour of the market, power hour. We are sort of selling off this morning. We'll see if buyers are interested again. It could be for the morning first hour where volume is active, but it also could lead to later in the day where we sell off lower, breaking this wedge support, but also hitting a lower low to around this price, which tells us that overall, I'm going to mark this price down, which will tell me that we are relatively bearish, which just from seeing this trend, we went from bull trend, right, to now this trend, which tells me that if we continue hitting these lower lows, what will happen? We'll probably just squeeze down the same way we squeezed up here, right? So yeah, that's the idea. Tesla charting just these wedges. So we'll have to be patient. We'll see how it does. Of course, pre-market resistance, if we break that, is a good chance that we'll probably. So it'd look like something like this. If we break that, we hit a higher high. We either reject here or we continue going, and we either break these prices. It's just basically you break this price, chances we are going to retest, but then we'll probably push up again when you'll be able to make money. So that's our Tesla idea. As you know, Tesla's really risky on 0-day expiration. Their contracts are a little beefed up, so we won't be really taking anything too crazy on that. But it's a good idea to watch maybe for next week. We'll see. All right, so that's our Tesla chart. Let's move on to Meta. Meta, nothing too big there. It looks like we are having the habit of rejecting near this resistance. So you see that resistance start to become a rejection. looks like just continuing lower low. Although we almost broke a higher high here, it just wicked, so showed that sellers are stronger there. Buyers tried but failed, hence why we had a big sell-off. And just lower lows. So what we're looking at is the trend is not breaking. So as you guys know, this trend, this pattern here, falling wedge, is a trend reversal pattern. So when you're trading a trend reversal pattern, your goal is to do just that, reverse that downtrend into an uptrend. But like I said, we have this gap here that is basically pulling us down. We have investors wanting to fill this gap, which again is usually unlikely, especially for a large earning gap like this. It just takes time. So it's not going to be basically straight selling. It's going to be selling, of course, and then some buying, and then some selling again. So that's what we're really looking for. We're looking for like a little bit of a break in sellers, buyers step in, and then we kind of do that. But yeah, this is interesting. We'll keep it on watch. Still, we want volume. That's really all we're looking for, is that volume, and then we're able to break. We'll probably hit price targets of. We'll go for something like this. It used to be up here, but now we're going to tighten it a little bit more. And try to scalp $1, $2, $3, $4, 8. That's all good. All right, let's go on to Apple. Apple broke Wednesday low of day. We'll remove that. I also want to try and do a clean slate on Apple too. Let's look at it first. Alright, so we got our Apple chart. I don't really see much in this chart. I can probably see that where we had a rejection here, 2 bounces here, and then a break pre-market where we should, because we are selling off in the morning. But the only thing is, as far as lows go, let me mark this right here. We also got this as a little range. So it looks like yesterday or these past 3 days, we've been rejecting this spot and sort of bouncing on this spot. So our range was this, and now we're starting to like squeeze below or sell below in the pre-market. So there could be a continuation. I guess our next step would be just to look for the next price targets, and we got possibilities like this, where we see sellers here, we see buyers here, and we see selling here, and then of course buying right here. So yeah, that's not a bad zone. Not a specific price itself, but the zone itself is an area where we can see some action for sure there. So yeah, I'll keep that price on watch. I'll probably box it in because I know it's not the price itself, but it's the zone that can be a issue. And we'll probably go for that complete box right here. Anything else? I'll probably leave it like that for now. Yeah, we'll probably leave it like that for now. We're seeing a reject here for the same zone. Yeah, okay. That's going to be it for this Apple. This is all I'm really seeing. We're looking at an area where sellers are possible to continue. As far as how far it goes, it's not going to go down directly. This is like a $3 move. What is it? $4 move? Let me move here. Yeah, $3 to $4 move. In just a drop. That's gonna be a long stretch. Normally you just see drop, of course, but then a bounce. So we're gonna see definitely some trending in that direction is what I'm looking for. Alright. Next we're going for Amazon. Amazon breaking another support. I don't really like Amazon's price action lately. Probably going to leave it how it is and just let it rock. We have this support here, which has shown in the past when buyers are very strong, like this here and here. We weren't able to hit higher highs until we broke completely and then pulled up. So maybe what could happen here, if buyers are interested in this price, we could push up and pull up to around 95. But anything under that, this right here looks good. And this price looks good because we have a bounce here twice and a major bounce here. This big bounce shows strength in volume. So we definitely could see, if we do break 93, a bounce there just off of relief of sellers and buyers stepping in, taking over. It's a possibility for sure. So I'll just leave Amazon like this. We'll watch it in the day. Probably won't take anything off of it, but if it does hit that price, we can take advantage and try to make some profit there. Alright, let's go on to AMD. AMD, same thing with NVIDIA. We got to be patient with this one. Bounce off retracement, I think this was Thursday or Wednesday. Wednesday, we saw it bounce off retracement, which is good. Seems to be in a reject zone here. Same thing we talked about the retracement rejecting yesterday. We gained volume, but we sold off immediately, which is good. We had this top or bottom of this supply and sort being a rejection. So if we do manage to pull up again today, watch this whole range for reject. As far as us going lower, watch pre-market low, pre-market or yesterday low and pre-market low. See if we can break below that. We can probably hit that retracement again. Small scalps can be profitable, especially with sell-offs. Like I said, investors are back holding on NVIDIA, so this can lead to selling on AMD if fear selling comes active, because there's likely that they're not going to want to hold to 0 DTE, are going to hold through the weekend. There's a very good chance they may not. So some of them may sell off, and we may see rejects there. So the same thing concept can happen here, where we break lower low and we can sell off to around 976. It all depends on what we're watching. Alright, so that goes for AMD. Not a bad setup, just a little bit more on the risky end. Let's go on to Netflix. Netflix, I'm probably not going to touch. We got this 9313. Let's look how it looks. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. We have this massive push, and then basically like a triple top or head and shoulder, whatever you want to call this. It just shows you that sellers are active here. And then buyers were active down here, but then we failed. We broke through a volume, hit lower lows, and then continued. Massive amount of sellers yesterday. That was insane. And today looks like there could be relief in buyers. I wouldn't bet on it because it's a Friday, but there is a possibility where we do see buyers interested in this price, and they're gonna be relieved of all these sellers. They're gonna try and buy back and push the price up a little bit, not too much, probably to their high, pre-market high, or maybe even these levels we'll probably use again in the future. This whole sell spot here, right here, we'll probably use that again as a take profit for if we do bounce at 313. I'm going to mark it down. I'm going to try and watch it later in the day, but we'll be patient. We'll see how it does. HD, I'm not going to touch. We're looking at this Microsoft. This retracement seemed to have been a bounce twice in a row. So yesterday's low and previous day low as pre-market. I'm probably just going to remove this. Sort of looks like that setup we watched earlier. I think it was Apple. Yeah, we saw yesterday low, and then previous day low, and then support, and then we're breaking it. So same thing here. I'd rather not touch Microsoft right now, and we'll move on to BA. Big gap down on BA. 2.61%. That's big. Looks like we have this whole spot here, right here. Buyers were interested in this price here, pushed up. So we have that whole spot to try and fill. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to be a tough price to try and get through. There's definitely going to be buyers down here, more towards the 199 spot. Because if we look at the previous time we were in this spot, we pushed up with mass amount of volume, and that caused us to hit this spot. So that tells me that buyers were interested in all of these prices, this whole run up. And so there's a good chance by the time we hit down here, sellers are going to start to lose their momentum, buyers are going to start to gain momentum, and they're going to start pushing us up. So I'll definitely watch out for these prices. 201 was specifically going to be the price I wanted to see main buyers at. As you guys can tell, we've touched this multiple times right here, sort of gaining that momentum pre-market. But if we end up selling off today on SPX or SPY, there's a good chance we'll follow with BA. So I want to be careful there. But to me, overall and all in all, AMD is in a bullish position, in my opinion. Theoretically, it should go. Buyers should buy up these prices between this whole spot, including these, just based off historic data. We've had history where strong buyers are in these levels. Um, the only thing that's just sucks about this trend is just this rising wedge, right? We have our trend reversal pattern. We broke it, and now we're sort of retracing. What could happen is, though, that seller exhaust, we've been selling off pretty strongly these past few days, that the exhaustion in sellers, maybe we got one more sell off in us, or we can bounce off straight and then get that momentum back and then sell off again. It's likely. It's definitely something worth watching, especially with the amount that BA has been moving recently. It could lead to some good profit. So we'll keep that on watch, and we'll leave it there. So yeah, there's BA. Move on to, let's go to Google. Doesn't look too good. We saw some buyers down here. This whole spot, 90.09, was a buy spot for me, but it looks like we're breaking pre-market, so we'll just have to see how it does. Next buy spot, I mean, this whole range right here, we can just tell from looking at it. Let's go to here. This whole spot here, we've seen buyers, sellers clash, but overall buyers are strong. So we'll have to see how we do now. But to be a little bit more conservative, let's try and figure out where is it that buyers are most active. Where is it that we started seeing strength and higher highs start to come in. So overall, we see buyers are strong there. I'd probably go for something like this. Let's go for something like this. And look at that, that's even pre-market low. So we could see bounce there. As far as lower lows go, we got big investor interest down here. What else? Maybe a nice level down here. But I'd mainly want to see buyers interested at where we're at right now to push us up. And then price targets would be, of course, at 92, where we saw a reject high of day. So it doesn't look bad. We'll see it later in the day. PayPal has just been terrible, but this 73.49 has been holding strong. So we'll see if we break. If we do break, we'll scalp to 72.70. If we hold above, we can start swinging some calls towards next week. Potentially, I wouldn't force it. We could probably wait till Monday to do it. And then we could see how we react there. Try to hit some higher highs. Of course, falling wedge reversal pattern, so we'll watch out for a break. And then we'll go on to Roku. Roku's sort of giving us a small, sort of looks like it's squeezing, but it's based off pre-market, so we'll have to see how it does. Um, Basically, demand here, we pushed up, we had lots of volume because of the earnings, mass selling, profit taking, and this is also another thing. We're sort of seeing that with Nvidia, right? Um, we had our earnings, massive push, some profit taking here. We push up again, hopes to go higher. Then when they see it failed, we opened up, sold off immediately, pushed up. It looks like we were about to hit a higher high. We failed. Look at that sell off immediately. Now we're sort of here selling off the market. So what could happen is a few things. It's less likely for us to push up unless there's volume in the market. There's more likely for us to break the support and then re-enter back into this range. But we also got to be aware that we're back in this spot. So we got to really be patient, see how we react. This 63.33 can be a bounce spot. Could be an area where we start to see buyers. But you also have to be aware that this 1 week resistance can be something like this, where we have our breakout, and then we have our retest, and then we have our moon. So that could also be something to watch out for and be careful of. Alright, so let's move on, or I think that's about it. It's already 9 o'clock, so we will probably end our meeting pre-market live here. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. Someone asked, do I trade live? I didn't yesterday, but I do trade live inside of the Team Bull community every morning. So yeah. Looks like this 3964 on ES is bouncing at the moment, so that's good to watch out for. We'll have to move it down just a slight bit. There we go, 3963. Well, I'll watch to see if this is an area with pre-market low. Remember, pre-market low can act as a good level, so we can definitely use that as a price to see if buyers are interested later in the day. We'll look for something like this where we pushed up. We'll start to look at if we have momentum loss or momentum gain in this scenario, and see if buyers are interested, push us up, sell off lower. It all depends, but definitely watch this 3963 key level for the day. And just a small recap before we end it here. We're going to go for watching AMD. AMD's rejection spots, we're looking for 80.89 if we do push up. We have this 77.9 pre-market low, including yesterday's low, to watch for a lower low to 76, where it's retracement level, so watch that. We have our Tesla. We're not going to take anything, but we are going to watch it. If we break lower lows, watch that 187, but overall, buyers should be interested in this price, so we'll see how it does. If we break above pre-market high, expect a continuation to around 205 to 209. We're going to watch Nvidia. No, we're not watching Nvidia. We're going to watch Microsoft or Meta. We're going to watch a break for a higher high, only if it's volume, because we do need that volume to start to see that trend actually reverse. And then Apple, I believe, is the other one. Pre-market low, we're breaking. Just going to keep that one on watch, see if we're interested at 143. Unlikely chance we will hit it, but or at least today. So we have to be very, very patient with this one. We'll move on with BA. We'll watch for 201 to 189.42 for buyers. If they're interested in there, we can take opportunities, try to scalp up. And then we got our Google calls that we're going to be watching out for. See if we bounce at 89.63. This whole range, and 90.09, where buyers are really influenced in the past. And I think the other one is Roku, 63.33, and then there was one more. Let's see. Of course, that PayPal, 73.49, and yeah. All right, guys. So I hope you guys had a great pre-market live with me. And hope you guys have a good trading day. Trade smart, trade safe. Be aware that today is your day till expiration, so be very smart with your investments and your emotion. So I'll see you guys. Have a great rest of your Friday, and peace.